Outside in the garden. I apologise if I'm jumping here. And I stood outside in the garden on a hot day, and I could hear my mum pounding into my sister and swearing these obscene words like, "I will stick this stick up your vagina," in Urdu. And that really infuriated me so much. How dare she say that in front of her sons? So I went downstairs with a baseball bat, and I told her to get up, and she wouldn't, and she grabbed my hair, and I hit her. I hit her on the forehead, and she had a bruiser. My brothers came running downstairs, and I was outnumbered, and I knew that I had to get out of there. So I went out and I stood outside in the garden. My father was asleep because he had night work. He was cold, and I heard a tapping on the window, and I looked up, and it was my father. He gave me the thumbs up. I did what he couldn't do. And he had another house where my father put me up in there. It was empty at that time. I got thrown out, and so I was staying there. My mum then got hold of her brothers. One of them has been in and out of prison for fighting, and a car pulled up. My father came to the house and says to me, "There's a job interview, do you want to come along?" I got into the car. My cousin was the driver. My father was on the back seat, with me. So we drove. My cousin drove to his house, and my two uncles came out of the house, which was a bit odd because they stayed in another town which was about 2 or 3 hours away. They got into the car. One of the uncles sat in front of the car, and the other one sat in the back of the car. I was in between my father and my uncle. So they drove, and they drove, and they drove. It then clued on me that I was heading towards Heathrow Airport when I saw the signs, and I knew that I was in trouble, but I didn't question them. I didn't know what I was going to do. When I got to the airport, I was in shock. So we got to the airport, and my uncle turned around and told me, "Here's your passport, get on that plane, otherwise I'll beat the crap out of you." And as far as I knew, my uncles weren't on the flight. I escaped. I later found out through the police, the CID, that my uncles' names were also on the flight. So what were they intending to do once they got me over there? Either I would have got beaten up or killed. And at this point, I just ditched Islam.